Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Legend Lore Chats on the Brawlhalla Lore YouTube channel. I am Barendipitous, and here with me is Ashley Arts, of course.
Hello.
So, funny story, I had batteries in my controller, but they went out.
You can figure that out in the last episode.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, but you're gonna... But you can't be entertained by Ashy beating me up again.
Oh, and I get soap.
Oh,
I get soap.
Soap is somebody you know?
I think so.
Well, that's a pretty legit skin there and color. I like it. Anyway.
10 roses in his chest hair.
Anyway, Ashy, would you be interested in reading a hasty prayer from Alan, a priest of Belzar, or from Diana to Octavia?
I'd like to read Diana's.
You'd like to read Diana's. Excellent.
I like that prayer though.
Okay. So, I'll read the prayer here. Our Father, who reign eternal in crimson slumber, please deliver us from Diana. She killed Sidorax and Bob last week, and I think she's back because the building is on fire. From a hasty prayer by Alan, priest of Belzar. Several other legends mention Belzar, by the way. Cross, for example. Jala's lore mentions Belzar, as does Nyx's. So, anyway.
I'm a bit busy trying to whoop a diamond.
Trying to whoop a diamond. Would you like me to read it, or do you want to wait for a bit?
Yeah, you can read it. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm gonna be the entertainment for this.
Fine.
episode.
Very, very well. I need a dozen quicksilver bombs, 5 quarters of holy water, 200 silver bullets, and 1 steak if you've got it. Diana to Octavius, quartermaster of the order. So this was before
Big-a-woo.
So this was actually before Mordex was released as a legend in Brawlhalla, actually quite a while before. And so I don't think BMG planned...
Situation like fate.
Yeah, I don't think BMG planned for Octavius to be Mordex, but there's a fun, like, kind of story going on with how, like, with fans and how fans saw Mordex and, like, data mining fans found Mordex information in the game, and the BMG was trying to play all coy with it and stuff. But when we get to Mordex, we can explain the whole story about how Mordex got his name and how he came to be and stuff like that. But I think when Diana was released, Octavius was just like, the quartermaster of the Order, in charge of the inventory and the weapons and everything of the Order of the Exalted Lion. But we know now Octavius was Octavius Mordex. Anyway, as the story goes, you're not doing too bad actually against the diamond.
Hush! I'm freaking out on the inside.
All things considered, really, like you're doing pretty well, I think. All things considered.
If he doesn't leave, then I'll be very happy. I'll talk to him again. I haven't talked to Soap in a long time.
Alright, no problem. For 1,000 years, the Order of the Exalted Lion has defended mundane society from the supernatural, with a trademark combination of elite training and exotic weaponry. Speaking of exotic, notice that Diana's default bow has blades on it. Really cool. Anyway.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it has some blades on it, which I think is just epic. Anyway, as the commander of the Order's hunters, Diana drove Europe's vampire population into exile and eliminated the self-appointed unseelie diplomat. She slew the Mad King of Batavia, then slew the vampire Mad King of Batavia, then finally slew the ghost vampire Mad King of Batavia. Caspian would have a few things to say about that.
He's like, are you the girl that killed my dad?
3 times.
3 times?
Anyway, she is the national hero of Batavia. But when she uncovered corruption in the Order itself, Diana fell into a trap. Breaking into the chambers of the Supreme Patriarch, Diana was seized by dark magic that drove her into a death-like sleep. She fought for moments of wakefulness, catching a glimpse of the Order's sub-basements, of winding forest of thorns, maybe the Fangwild actually, and finally of an expanse of darkness filled with screams. Hey, GG, that was pretty good.
No, he left!
Oh dear.
Aww. I'm sad now.
Oh, that's too bad. Anyway,
He left immediately.
Diana.
I hate it when people do that, especially my friends.
Yeah, I always type WP, well played and stuff, and I always
I
hope
tried,
that.
but he left immediately. He didn't even stay. He didn't even say GG.
That's too
He just
bad.
left. It made me really sad.
Well, I hope you get to chat with Soap sometime in the future. Anyway, Diana awoke on the shores of Nastrond, a land deep within Helheim. The endless dead sensed the unfamiliar warmth of mortality and swarmed to consume it, and so she fought. She held the damned at bay for 11 days before the goddess Hel herself found her and ejected the troublemaker. A Valkyrie found Diana lost between worlds and offered her a place in Brawlhalla. In Brawlhalla, Diana is a ruthless combatant and a force for justice, but she seethes that monsters like Azoth and Mordex are allowed in the warrior's heaven and plots their destruction. Oh, so this is where Mordex was first mentioned. I forgot about that. It's like, just like you said, it's a fate situation. Fate was first mentioned in Isaiah, and for a while we speculated. Like, is Fate going to be a legend?
I don't think anyone said anything.
Like, people were wondering, like, is Fate going to... Like, BMG never said anything about Fate until Fate was released as a legend, which was very exciting.
Fate is a cute girl. I like her.
She's adorable. All the whole Twitter takeover thing she did was just amazing. Anyway, we of course know that the main connection Diana has is with Mordex. How Mordex was Octavius Mordex, but he became a werewolf and he betrayed the order. She was the only one.
I feel like he wasn't a werewolf in general until he reached Brawlhalla, to where he couldn't go back.
Well, like I think he was. I think he had some powers before with being a werewolf.
Yeah, he stole powers from other creatures.
Yeah. But anyway, Diana was the only one who stood between Mordex and the Geminius Virens, which is a cursed artifact that Mordex wanted. There's been some speculation as to what the Geminius Virens is, but that is mentioned in Mordex's lore, so we'll save that for when we talk about Mordex. So Legend and Brawlhalla tend to have an archetype, and I think Diana just kind of has the monster hunter archetype. Kind of like the type of monster hunter you'd find in gothic horror, in the gothic horror genre, like a vampire hunter kind of thing. One of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons published adventures is called Curse of Strahd, which is all about gothic horror. And there are a couple of vampire hunters in it that Diana could very well fit along with them. Like there's this one guy, the vampire hunters are named Octavio and Esmeralda is the other one as well in Curse of Strahd. So I think the whole gothic horror genre is very much what, or the hero of the gothic horror novel, like the kind of hero you'd see in. Oh, that was really good. Speaking of gothic horror, so gothic horror kind of began like the classic horror with Dracula and werewolf and whatever. That began with a novel called The Castle of Otranto, which was written in 1764. That novel borrowed a lot from Shakespeare, and it kind of continued into the Victorian age. So think Frankenstein, Lord Byron, and then even a bit later, like with Edgar Allan Poe, you know. But what we consider modern horror, like slasher films or like creepy dolls and stuff, that kind of took over by the 1950s. But before that, horror was more like monsters, maybe aliens, I guess, King Kong, Dracula, werewolf, swamp monster, that kind of thing.
People really wanted some anthropomorphic animals.
But yeah, so I think as far as when Diana herself lived, I think it's safe to say she lived sometime between mid-19th century and possibly late 18th century Europe. I say Europe because I found out that Batavia is a short-lived name. Is a name for a short-lived empire in like the let's see, kind of where like present day, what was it, Netherlands or Luxembourg or something like that.
Netherlands, I believe.
Yeah. So I think that's where Batavia is. I thought BMG kind of made it up because it sounds like a made-up European country, but
It's not.
it's not, which is really cool. Sometimes things seem made up, sometimes it
Now
isn't.
we know Caspian's Dutch.
Now, yeah, exactly. So if anyone can do a convincing Dutch accent, I think Caspian would very much speak like that. I don't really know much about the Dutch accent, so.
I still am not sure what the language or the accent sounds like.
Anyway, also, as far as we know, the Order of the Exalted Lion has only really existed in Europe. As far as we know.
That means Diana had to travel all the way.
Diana had to travel all the way from where to where?
Europe to there.
From Europe to Batavia? I mean, Batavia is in Europe. It's not that much of a trip.
Then never mind, I'm stupid.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were talking about Helheim or something, but
No. I mean, Helheim's probably a bit far if you ask me.
yeah, probably. Blasters and bow are fitting weapons for a monster hunter. It makes a lot of sense. Especially since most classic monsters, like Dracula, werewolf, all that stuff, they're considered to have a weakness to silver bullets or arrows. So silver arrows from a bow, silver bullets from a gun. They both work. They both work really. Or any silvered weapon. I'm not entirely sure why silver, but it's just kind of like part of the whole mythology or legend or things like that. Or anything blessed, really, like holy water and stuff.
You gotta keep them demons away.
Indeed.
Maybe for about 5 seconds. They'll come back, trust me.
Unless you use like a stake from a holy tree or something like that. Or you use...
I made this mix give up! Yeah, easy!
Player 2 wins.
Well done.
I disconnected. Oh,
Oh dear. We've talked a bit before about the Order of the Exalted Lion.
Oh, the Exalted chest is back.
Oh, is it? That's exciting.
Yeah. Diana's skin looks really cool.
Yeah.
Jiro and Nash.
Jiro and Nash are the other two, which is weird to me. Like they have no.
Oh look, he has a scarf.
Oh yeah, Jiro has another scarf. Yeah, he always had a scarf. Why wouldn't he?
His
talked about
other
this.
skins don't have scarves.
Well, you said that any other skin where he doesn't have a scarf, his neck is not showing or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we said that in an episode or we were just chatting or whatever, but
I think we were doing that in an episode.
okay. I have two. Anyway, I do have two more things with Diana, but let's see. So she eliminated the self-appointed unseelie diplomat. If you're not too familiar with fantasy or Dungeons and Dragons or other things like that, seelie and unseelie refer to the most common categories used to classify different types of fairies. Basically, the mythical, often small woodland-related creatures, right? So seelie and unseelie are derived from the Middle English word seelie, which this is where we get the word silly, by the way. Seelie, silly. It means happy, lucky, or blessed. Conversely, unseelie means unhappy, unfortunate, or unholy. So it's easy to see how seelie refers to elves aligned with light or goodness, while unseelie is for those on the side of evil and darkness. So in many settings, like Dungeons and Dragons, you would hear in like the kind of fairy or the Feywild lore that there's a seelie court and an unseelie court. They're essentially, if you want to get really general, good fairies and bad fairies, basically. So apparently
I love that.
Yeah, there's an unseelie diplomat, I guess, an ambassador of some sort that Diana eliminated somehow for some reason. Those belonging to the unseelie court. Let's see. So in general, like when you look up the seelie and unseelie courts in different places.
I just got myself 0 to death.
Yeah, you kind of did. Fairies belonging to the Sealy court are generally friendly towards humans/humanoids. They can also be chaotic and mischievous, even seeking revenge for a perceived wrong, but they're never truly like devious or malicious or anything like that. Those in the Unseelie court, however, generally don't need provocation to justify their assaults, and some might even choose to spare a respectful human to keep as a servant or a pet. So generally, humans like Diana would not see Unseelie people as Unseelie fairies as good news.
Diana's crazy. Why did I run into that?
You ran into so many things that you saw. Like you clearly like that sig there. There's just
He spot dodged.
I expected better. Oh, actually, that was pretty good.
He spot dodged.
You called their bluff on that spot dodge there.
They call my will to die.
They called your will to die. It is little wonder then that the Unseelie diplomat is self-appointed, nor is it surprising that Diana would want to eliminate him. And then finally, the other thing I wanted to mention was that Diana awoke on the shores of Nastrand. I wanted to see if that was also made up. It's not. Nastrand is actually, let me see if I can find, okay. Here we go.
I whoop you with my bow.
The shores of Nastrand is it's basically the corpse shore, a place in Helheim where the great serpent Neohager lives and feeds on the corpses and the roots of Yggdrasil.
I think people were just waiting for Diana to die. Vortex was hoping for it.
Yeah.
Everyone was.
Indeed. Kind of like here, the damned souls at the shores of Nastrand can claim you, or if they don't, then the serpent Neohager would. But it's also the afterlife location for those guilty of murder, adultery, and oath-breaking, which is the worst possible crime according to the Norse people. This is what Diana had to deal with for 11 days before Hell finally threw her out, essentially. So...
don't you love it when Hell throws you out? Not even Hell wants you.
Yeah, it's kind of like... But that says how impressive Diana is, right? So, as far as we can tell, she doesn't have any like special powers or anything. She's just an incredibly skilled leader and monster hunter, and so dealing with Nastrand for 11 days is extremely impressive to me, anyway. So, but yeah, I think that's about all I have. Oh wait, yeah, that's about all I have for Diana. Yeah. If Ashley doesn't have anything more, then thank you all for watching, and until next time, GG, fellow lore nerds.